It started at an early age. I mean, I love playing ball and especially football. I grew up in Bothell, Washington, and Friday night lights at elementary school, junior high was a thing. We went to go watch the high school football team, and that started my love for just that event. And then football came, and I loved just playing the sport and scoring touchdowns and the roar of the crowd. So I love that football really just made me feel like I could do anything. So Friday night lights, and when I actually played under the lights, I not only loved the game of football, but I loved looking into the crowd and seeing the marching band, the cheerleaders, the thousands of fans wearing yellow and black. So that got me into the production mode. Like, I became not only a football player, but a producer. And how do you make this into an event and share it with other people? So I think that's how I got my start. Filipino, I was 5'5", 155 pounds, number 5. So it was all about just really maximizing my quickness. You know, I couldn't run over people. So I just learned, just how to avoid tacklers. It helped that my dad was a boxer in the Philippines. So from a strength, athleticism, fight, I learned how to really go through those holes and really use my strength and quickness to become a running back. My height, that limited me to get to a college scholarship. But thankfully, my brother, he had a little bit more height and played for the University of Washington. So my love for football continued just watching as a fan. But I really did just love just avoiding tacklers. I had a really good offensive line. And it was just fun to just really just score touchdowns and hear the roar of the crowd. My first introduction was my internship at King 5. I was a junior at University of Washington, and I was asked to follow one of our camera operators to a professional basketball game. It was the Sonics. And this is a funny story because, I was an intern, King 5. They gave me an assignment to follow a videographer, a veteran videographer, and we did post-game locker room interviews. And my job was to hold a recording device and just get sound bites and really just, get what is the pulse and what is the sounds of the locker room. And I remember Gary Payton got so mad because they lost the game. And we got down there and, the mood of the locker room was not positive. And I think I was too quick to ask Gary a question. And he's like, he kind of, you could tell he did not want to answer questions. He just lost the game. So, Gary was one of my childhood heroes. He basically put me in my place, which is totally fine. No disrespect to Gary Payton. But that was a good learning lesson because you really got to, in the sports world, really know what the players, the coaches, how they're feeling after a loss. But that was my first experience. That internship, the internships were a start. I had 7 internships in college, and that really helped shape what am I passionate about, what am I good at. And, I did sports reporting, sports writing. I did even the Rivals.com and the tech industry. I really, as far as getting to where I'm at now, it was really making those connections. I was in a lot more so the media side, but being in that media side, I saw there's a front office. Like, these sports teams, it's not just players and coaches. They have business ops, marketing, journalism. They have all these other positions that you could apply for. So, that really opened up the doors to like, hey, you know what? If I'm not working in the media side, covering the team, I want to look into what jobs are within a team. And that's where I checked websites. How many position roles do they have? How can I build my resume to align myself to apply for those jobs, be qualified for those jobs? And that's where I went to grad school. And really, sports is a lot of it's competition, right? Not just on the field, but off the field. Getting that graduate degree helped me with, that competitive edge to apply for a job. And, it also, I learned my skill set. A lot of my skill set was production, producing, writing, behind the camera work, creating the show. And that's where I'm at today. My parents are the very, very traditional Filipino parents. I honestly, after 19 years of working in the sports industry, I don't really think they know exactly what I do. I'm being totally honest. sometimes on Sundays they'd call me like, "Are you watching the Seahawks game?" I'm like, "Mom, I'm producing the Seahawks game." Uh, they're proud of me because I work for an organization that has respect in the community. They're proud of me because I graduated from college and I got my undergraduate and master's degree. And they're also proud of me because they see that I'm happy. I think that's what ultimately, as a parent myself, you just want your kids to be happy. And they know that I'm very just like passionate about my job, and they can see it, they can feel it. And, even though they don't know what I exactly do, but they are very just proud. And as a Filipino, I think proud is something that our country, that our people, like, that's a big part of what we do. Like, we just are proud of who we are. I actually like think about this a lot. Like, how did I get this way? Because having 3 kids myself, my mom, she comes from a province, Ilocos Norte, Lawag, and it's about 10 hours north of Manila. And she came from a very well-educated, loving, she had 7 sisters and 1 brother. And they were all, the proudest moment, I think, of my grandparents' life was every single one of them got a college degree. And so from just really the work of studying and preparing, that's something I bring to my job every day. I'm like, my mom just really instilled on me in education, but also at the end of the day, it's treat people with kindness and respect. She's like, just be nice, Ryan, be nice. My dad, he was a little more tough. He was a little bit more as the boxer, but also growing up in Bawang, which is by Baguio City. He lived close to the beach, the huts and the towns. It's just a different lifestyle. And he brought this blue collar grit, like work hard, have 3, 4, 5 jobs. I was always working. Like, my brother and I, we kind of grew up on construction sites because that's how I would pay for homecoming, prom, like tuts, flowers for my date. I would work with my dad, and he would give me money because I earned it to pay for that. And now, in sports competition, like, you got to work hard, got to be smart. That work hard came from my dad. It's always changing because, I've seen more people that look like us. And, I really just, even at high school and when I was playing ball in the huddle with others and looking at their faces, and I just did everything I can to ball. Like, I did everything I can to do what I can control and what I do. So one of the reasons why, I'm thankful to be here, and the invite and the email you sent me, I'm like, I want to show people that even if you don't see people that look like you and are as tall as you, that doesn't mean you can't do it. I was lucky enough, and that I got these opportunities. And even if you're not getting the opportunity now, just work hard, be smart, get educated, and put yourself in a position to get it. There's a lot of talented Filipinos, especially in my field, where it's the creative, it's the ideas, it's the entertainment. I think us Filipinos, a lot of us just think of the holidays, Christmas, right? Christmas is a beautiful tradition, and a lot of families celebrate it and have the best time. But I think Filipinos really maximize time together as a family, and we showcase talent. You really see, and we used to actually rent hotel ballrooms because our families were huge back in the day, and different clubs that we would go to, that, like, whether it's there's a place called the Aqua Club in Bothell. It's a swimming club, and we rented their hall. And the Aqua Club, we used to have talent shows, and I knew I was interested in producing because I would help write the scripts. I would help with the MC. I would help with the DJ. And then, I would, because of my mom and dad, I would have to perform with my brother and, Michael Jackson, and we would do the dance, and but the cool part is the aunties and uncles would give you money for it too. So it was so fun because as a kid, I took home $200 because I was able to, moonwalk and break dance. But also Filipinos, really, you just had a lot of fun. And naturally, in my field, that's what, as a director of game entertainment, you come to football games to have fun, right? Enjoy time with not just your family, but everyone around in your section. Going home to the Philippines and seeing where my parents grew up and being like, there's no Lumen Field or stadium in Bawang or, in Lawag where my mom grew up. There's not even a structure that size. And to be in a control room, my wife describes it best because my job is very hard to explain. And she's like, when you watch Apollo 13 and when NASA has their control room and they're trying to get a rocket ship in space, my husband, when I walk into his office, it's a control room and he's trying to produce a football game. To be able to do that as a Filipino, it means a lot because I know my parents and also a lot of my cousins and relatives that are still there, they don't have that surrounding and technology and building and the innovation. So I'm hoping that, they're able to see what I do. And I know someday, football in the Philippines will be bigger. And I'm sure there's a lot of kids and people that play football in the Philippines, but here it makes me proud because I'm like, I'm doing something I love. This was probably the most proud moment. I just said this at a family gathering. It was really one of the biggest things that I get to do is, showcase the video board. At the video board, the Jumbotron, as everyone, people know in the sports world, and to be able to show, messages, photos, videos, and to be able to script it. We had a longtime Seahawks fan pass away, and it happened last year. And this was actually the father of one of my friends growing up, and her dad, Dennis, was just a huge sports fan, but also coached all her games. She played college hoops. I remember going to church with him, and I met him, and he just talked Seahawks, Mariners, all the Seattle sports. And when he passed away, my wife brought her to a game just to get her mind off what just happened. And it was recent, he passed away a few weeks before the game, and we put his name on the video board, and we were able to just keep his name up there a little bit longer. And after the game, I always meet my family, and Denise was there, and she just gave me this huge hug. And that was probably the best moment, because that's real life. And someone I grew up with, father passed away, and I was able to just help with that situation. I think a lot of my job on Sundays is people are coming to that stadium to really just almost kind of have a release from the real life, right? I mean, she just had her father pass away. Had a lot of people have hard days, weeks at work, and they're like, I can't wait till Sunday. I can't wait till Sunday. So that's probably the best part of my job, where you get to provide this experience where they just get to experience a shared emotion. And my hope is we win the game and it's a shared emotion that, celebration. That's probably the best part of my job. I get to be part of that, and you get to really give people joy, goosebumps. It's like going to a movie. When you cry, when you laugh, when you feel all the emotions, you went to a good movie. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to tell a really good story.